Hello, Moto America fans, and welcome to this latest edition of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice, and welcome to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I'm here with the communications manager of Moto America, Paul Carruthers, and our guest, number 6, Cameron Beaubier. And Cameron raced here, hard to believe, 10 years ago in 2014. Won one of the 2 races. You remember that race? You had to do everything on Sunday because it rained out on Saturday. Do you remember anything about that?
I do.
Yeah.
That was a wild weekend. I remember we had to pack the whole weekend into basically one day.
Yeah.
7 races.
Yeah. And it ran. I mean, it happened. It ran smoothly, and it was pretty crazy though. And doing 2 superbike races in the muggy heat here was not very easy, especially racing Josh Hayes and Roger and Cardenas. But it was pretty cool. This track's a lot of fun.
It helped that you were like 12.
Yeah. that's what I was telling you guys earlier. It's crazy because the first time I ever came to Mid-Ohio, I was 12. I was 12 years old in 2006, and I came out here for, I think it was like a WERA National or a USGPRU National or something like that. And
they used to do that.
Yeah, I raced PJ Jacobson and Tommy Aquino, some other guys. And I remember coming here. This was like the first real national track that I had raced at, other than like Fontana or something like that. But it was just so big to me. Like it was so big to me. The paddock, the track, everything. And when we came back here we tested here a couple months ago, and it looked so small. Like it was funny. I just remember it. It's the whole thing. Like as a kid, you see everything is so much bigger. But I really like this place. They did a really good job repaving it. It's a lot more work on a superbike than a 600.
I was gonna say,
yeah, but it's a good track.
Is it? It's obviously it's as busy as it looks. I mean, it's like nonstop.
It's
right?
nonstop, but luckily it has a good flow to it. Like, yeah, it wears you out, but it has a good flow to it to where you can really piece this track together. And I love tracks like that, where you can really just piece them together and it's not so, stop and go. You can really get yourself in like a good rhythm here and spend a lot of time on the side of the tire, which helps me.
Well, as you can hear, maybe motorcycles going around. We're actually here at an official test with actual practice and qualifying getting started tomorrow. And you've been the fastest guy in every session. Is that the goal at this point? Put some pressure on?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting down to it. We got 3 rounds left. Ohio, COTA, and then New Jersey. It looks like I don't know if the rain's going to hold off this weekend.
Right.
But that would be pretty nice. But, rain or shine, we're going to give it our best and see if we can claw our way back into things. I think I'm 45 or 46 points down.
46.
And Heron's riding really good. Cam P's been riding really good. It looks like hopefully Jake's hand is getting better. Sean, Bobby, the class is so stacked this year, and it's pretty incredible. We're all within the top 5 is within 46 points, and I'm in 5th. So definitely got some work to do, but it's gonna be fun.
Do you sit at home and like, okay, if I get first here and he gets third and I get...
No, I'm not that guy. Honestly, that guy. If I try to think about it the least I can because I stress myself out.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't mention it then.
Yeah, so you're not at this point going, I got to win every race for the rest of the year. I mean, a lot of things can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it would help.
Yeah.
Definitely would help, but I hate talking like that. I just want to go out, do the best I can, and make the most of it in every race, and do the best I can, and just focus on every race as it comes, and kind of see where we're at going into New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of works in everybody's favor, the fact that there are so many guys that can finish high up.
Yeah.
In other words, it's not like a bad day a guy's going to get second. A bad day a guy's going to get 6th.
Yeah.
No matter who it is. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of opportunities for that championship to shuffle around in a bunch of different ways.
Exactly. And when you throw some rain in the equation, anything can happen. And So
will you choose rain tires this time if it rains?
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
you should
see.
do that. That might be a good idea.
But seriously though, Cameron, I mean, there is a chance we're going to have some rain. We don't know how it's going to be. When they say it's a high percentage, it could be a short amount of rain at a time that these guys.
Yeah, you
aren't
should
even
tell
on the
us.
track.
You're
right.
And he always sticks up for Ohio.
I do.
Like he somehow, like when we ask him about rain, oh no, it only lasts for 4.6 minutes. And
yeah, 85% rain doesn't mean it's 85 all day. There might be a shower. There's an 85% chance of a little cloudburst. But Cameron, regardless of that, I think of you as a rain rider. You've won races in the rain and done really well. And you're a smooth.
He says he doesn't like it, but he does well.
But you understand and see that you're good in the rain.
No,
right?
For the most part, I've always been pretty good in the rain. I just don't like riding in the rain.
Right.
To be honest with you, it's always like, I mean, I've won a handful of races in the rain, and I always get a pretty good feeling going out there and riding. Like once you get up to speed and get that feeling, get your knee down, and just the feel for grip. But something about trying to talk yourself into going riding a 200 plus horsepower bike in the rain it doesn't feel very good sitting in the truck. But once you get out there, you start feeling it out and get comfortable, like I said. But I can't, I have a hard time believing anyone that says they like riding in the rain is being truthful.
Yeah. Well, the other part of that, like you kind of defined it a little bit, but what you don't like about riding in the rain is the sketchiness of the grip and the unsure of, but what about the comfort factor? Is it uncomfortable to race in the rain?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like I said, when you're lining up with all these guys, we're on 200 plus horsepower bikes, and you definitely don't want to throw them down the road, and your
visibility.
Your visibility is an issue. You're dealing with spray. There's just so many factors that go into it. You really want to lead, but at the same time, when you're leading, like it's a lot easier to follow in the rain without the spray, but just to get a judge on having someone else take the risk before you, but no, like I said, I'm not a big fan of it, but like once we get out there and we're doing it, like it's okay. And I have had some fun rain races. Like my favorite is when it's drying up, because then you're kind of picking your way through the track. You're picking sometimes you even have to hit some wet spots on the straight to try to cool the tires down a little bit. And that was fun. Like Road Atlanta, for example, that was a really fun race especially because I was able to pull JD and Jake back to me, and just had my head down that whole race. I started out pretty slow, and then the track was drying up, and you're sliding around, and it was a lot of fun.
Did the Road America thing? Was it just something that caught you off guard, or what happened there exactly?
Yeah, so I mean that's another part of it too. Is I haven't had much experience riding the BMW in the wet, and I think we just need to. I mean, every time it's rained a little bit here or there during the season, and also last year, we just wouldn't go out because it looks like, okay, it'll be dry come race time. It'll be dry Saturday or Sunday. If it's raining Friday, we'll scrap this session type of thing. But I feel like that's kind of hurt us, and it's mostly my fault because I'm telling the guys like, man, if it's going to be dry Saturday, like why are we going to go out in the wet and on Friday afternoon or something like that? But I think we need a little bit of wet time to really dial in our electronic strategies and play with the setup of the bike a little bit. But in all honesty, like Road America, it was feeling pretty good. We were struggling pretty bad with the engine braking. And that's what happened. I went into turn 1 and the rear end just never came back. And I went for a ride.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Cameron, so rain or shine, whatever, is this your bike now?
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like I've put a lot of effort into helping develop it with the team, and we're really getting somewhere with it, we're still, trying some hard parts and different swing arms and all this stuff, but it's really nice just to come in this year with a good base on like where we're running the bike with our having a year under our belt, just showing up with like a good electronics package right when we roll out for FP1. And that's huge. Just not chasing our tail on Friday, and then finally playing catch up all Friday, and then finally it's almost like Sunday morning is when we finally like get our bike dialed in, and that's where we get to start this year, and that's really good.
Does the bike have a big sweet spot for being right, or is it a little sweet spot?
It's a little sweet spot.
That's what JD says too. Yeah.
It's a pretty small window where this thing works really good, but when it's working, it works really good. But if you're a little outside that window, like you can really feel it, and it's not really like a confidence inspiring motorcycle just because the thing is just wicked. It's got so much power, like the way it makes power too. It's just really aggressive. But when everything's dialed in, it's a really good bike.
Because Troy Herfoss, when he rode it, he basically said that he just didn't think he was going fast enough to get it to the point where you make it work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was just like not in
that. And I understand that. Like Troy's an amazing rider, but I mean, you throw anyone on a bike, especially a bike like that, for one weekend, it's going to be tough, you know?
If you had the choice between a bike that was wicked fast and a bike that wasn't quite as fast but handled unbelievably, what would you choose?
I mean,
want them both.
I wish there's both.
Right, of course you do.
Yeah, but that's one thing that with the BMW that I've just had to learn. It's not a Yamaha, you know. Like I've spent so many years on a Yamaha, and like they turn so good.
Yes,
they're so friendly to you. The way like the way the power delivery is and stuff. But our bike is, I mean, it makes power. It's fast.
Yeah,
you know? Like that's what we have in our back pocket, and I've had to kind of get away from how I ride the bike a little, ride the Yamaha a little bit, and like adapt more to the way the BMW likes to be ridden. And that was a little tough also, you know, coming from Moto2, like just carrying so much corner speed and all this stuff. And the BMW, like you want to just get it off the edge of the tire and go and kind of give a little to get a little. So, yeah, it's different, but I honestly, I love the challenge of just having like a new package, a new team to go try to win with. And it's definitely been tough. You know, I've picked myself up quite a bit over the last 2 years, but it's been super rewarding at times too.
You know, you may remember this, but a long time ago, I called you the babyface assassin, and Keith McCarty always really liked that. And what I meant by it is you've always had a youthful face, and you started out young, but you have this level of intensity that's hard to see on your face, and even when you're walking around the paddock. But I don't know of anybody that's not as motivated as you. I mean, do you still have that burning to win and do everything?
I want to win so bad, you know. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the winning, or is it you hate the losing?
I would say winning, it feels great, and you feel so accomplished at the end of the weekend, but it's like a relief you crave, you know, but I would say I hate losing more than I like winning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like Moto2 has taught me so much. Like, you can't really be like that. You have to be, I mean, when you show up for the weekend knowing that there's no chance you're going to win the race, like, and you get a solid top 10, like a 7th or something like that, you know, that feels really good. And then coming back here, same thing, like the first few rounds last year. Yeah, I won at Road Atlanta, but you know, it was a kind of a different race. I was definitely using that track's a little different. I was definitely using the power as a weapon, like to my advantage, and yeah, just kind of I was able to control the race really good. But then when we went to like Barber, we kind of got our teeth kicked in. We didn't even finish on the podium the first race. And yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying with this whole like new chapter. It's been really fun just riding a new bike, and just challenging myself with, you know, with a new team and a new bike, and like being a part of like developing this bike. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's really cool. So give us a little bit of I'm going to put you on the spot because you love the guy so much, JD Beach. You know, look what he's doing in flat track. He goes in there and he wins like, you know, those races in a row, but he's having a tough time this year. And you said the window for that bike is kind of small. And he said the same thing to me. He said it was a little bit wider on the Yamaha. You could be outside of it a little bit. You could dance around in there, but you have to be right in the middle of that thing. Is that what you think it is with JD? And knowing his career, it seems like sometimes it takes him a little while to get going, but once he does, it clicks. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, man, JD has some of the most talent I've ever seen on a motorcycle across the board, you know, dirt bikes and flat track, road racing. To be honest with you, I think that the level here has gone up quite a bit in the last few years, and he's been flat tracking the last few years. Like he just needs a little time to get going. You know, it's going to be tough for anyone to hop in this championship and be like a consistent podium threat, you know, no matter what bike you're on. I know like what he did last year on the Yamaha was amazing. It was super impressive. But you know, he's ridden that bike before, and those are some good tracks for him. I'm not making it like any excuses. Like he did amazing, but I think it's a complete different situation right now. You know, we're on the BMW. The thing is hard to ride, harder to ride. And he's trying to find his way, like what works for him, because like he can't just hop on my bike and go as fast as he can on his setup. You know, like we ride quite a bit different, and yeah, he's just got to find his way a little bit. But I have no doubt he will be there. Like he won't be there. He's gonna be good, especially like, you know, I think he's gonna be good at COTA. He's really good at New Jersey. I think he was really fast back here in Mid Ohio back on 600s. So I think he's gonna have a good end to the year. And yeah, I think he just needs a little time though.
Is his side of the truck a lot tidier than yours?
Yeah, for sure.
He's very meticulous.
Yeah, he gives me crap all the time when he walks in. It's like I can't help myself. My wife.
Smelly socks.
Yeah, my wife. No, the sock game has changed. Maybe that's my problem, honestly.
That might be it.
I had the same pair of socks for like pretty much all my championship years. I'd wear the same freaking socks. I'd wash them. Don't worry, I'd wash them after the weekend, but I'd wear these same socks at all the races, every day. Yeah, every day of the race weekend, and they stank bad. Like they're. And
you don't have those
I finally
anymore?
had to retire them. No,
Oh no, you gotta.
I know.
Find them?
No, I threw them away, but yeah, that's probably my problem. But yeah, his side is definitely a little tighter than mine. But I can't help myself, man. My wife yells at me at home. I'm just like, I leave a trail of crap just around the house because I need to be a little tidier.
So I want to ask you about this year, because in the past, I mean, Tony Elias, you never hated the guy. You probably disliked him a little bit sometimes, and he was certainly a rival of yours. You've got rivals now, but there's nobody that you don't like. You know, I'm going to throw it out there. Even Josh Herrin. We don't have that intensity, that tension in our series, and maybe you don't need it. Do you have to hate another rider to beat him?
No.
Do you like to beat your friends?
Yeah.
I feel like our paddock is so, I don't know. I don't want to waste my energy hating someone. I don't need that to fuel my fire. You know what I mean? The whole Tony thing back in the day, like he did some stuff on track just with like his ability on the bike, like how good he was on the brakes and stuff, that would just piss me off though. And especially being on the Yamaha at the time, like the Suzuki had a little more power than us.
Yes.
And man, like it was pretty frustrating the way he rode sometimes, but at the same time, I learned so much from the guy. Like he was an incredible rider, and yeah, we still, we BS on social media once in a while, and he'll check in on me, which is really cool. And I hope him and his family are doing great. But like right now in the superbike classes, I have respect for all those guys. The handful of them are my good buddies, and Yeah, we're all, I mean, I know people love seeing the rivalry and the fight, like the build up into the race, but like I'm just like not that guy. I'm feel super lucky for what we get to do, and I feel like everyone else is kind of in the same boat. I mean, we're getting paid money to go race motorcycles, and it's a lot of it's a lot of fun. It doesn't feel like, I mean, yeah, definitely we have our rough days, but it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting because I never thought about the energy you expend when you're angry, because I tend to get that way sometimes. And I'm
you
like,
spend a lot of that.
Yeah,
energy.
I do. I like want to scorch the earth, so I need to calm the hell down once in a while. But,
I've seen it.
You've seen it even on the team. I think I got madder at Matt than at Tony than you did. I was like, oh yeah.
I'm not saying that I can't get fired up though.
Right,
like,
you do.
But he contains it.
Right. This is what I'm saying about you, baby-faced assassin. Still, I mean, you don't know. It's in you. You go out. You show it on the track. You show it with wins and lap times and everything you do there. You expend your energy on the right things. So, have you always been that way?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I can get fired up, if
Right.
I lose at a video game or like over and over, or, whatever. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, my wife's seen me fired up. I think we all got a little fire in us.
Yeah, you have to sometimes, but I like what you say about expending it in the right way, though. So,
I have one question about Laguna Seca. Like race 1, you got out front and you just pulled away and stayed out front. Race 2, you kind of got you didn't get the best of starts and you never. I don't think you led at all, right?
Mm-mm.
No. So you were with Heron. Was that frustrating? Was it like you just couldn't get to the point where you could make a move that would have been safe for both of you, and then you're just like, God, I know I just need a little more, or what?
Yeah, like Saturday, I felt so good. Like in morning qualifying on Saturday, like my bike was just working. I was like getting back to like our window. Like we were in our window, and I felt so good and confident on the bike, and going into the race I was just ready to put my head down and go, and I'm glad it worked out like that, because man, I was so my tongue was in the spokes halfway through. Like I was so tired because I haven't been able to do anything with my foot, and I was pretty worn out. And then Sunday, race 2, I just didn't quite have that feeling I did Saturday. Like we made a couple small changes, but nothing enough to like get us out of our window. I just didn't have that like extra bit of like oomph or confidence to do anything with Heron. Like I knew that I wasn't going to be able to break away or anything, so I stayed behind him for a long time in the race. And then after 10 to go, I was starting to look for a place I could line him up, but nothing was coming available. And like I would have had to he was really good on the brakes, and I would have had to make a big lunge and maybe, take us both out to do something, because he was protecting. He was, especially the last few laps, he was protecting really good, like down into 2, all the corners. Like he rode really well. I couldn't do much with him. And at the same time too, like I couldn't afford to throw it down the road for points, or like with what I was dealing with my foot and all that. But he rode really damn good.
So we haven't really talked about, you've got a broken heel and ankle. You got still an issue. It's healing. It's getting better. I talked to another rider. Oh, Richie Escalante. I talked to him earlier yesterday, and I asked him about his injury, and he said really he was going to come back at COTA, and he wanted to be there because, being from Mexico, his fans are going to be there in droves. But he came back here and he wanted to and you did the same thing at Ridge. We knew you wanted to be back for Laguna, but you came back earlier than any of us expected. Was there kind of a plan to do, I almost equate it to a store that opens, that have a grand opening, but then they kind of open before that, a soft opening. Is that what you were doing with Ridge?
No. So my whole goal was to come back for Laguna, and it was basically, I was just going to see how my heel and foot was healing up, and kind of take it from there. But the way the points were kind of shook out after Brainerd, I was like, man, like if I have if there's any way I could ride, I should try to just put some points on the board, like go get a couple top 10s and just get some points, so I'm still like somewhat in this thing. And it was definitely real, like way too early. I struggled so bad. Like I remember after I did the first few laps on like I could go decent, but I could not ride the bike like I wanted to. I couldn't like put any pressure on my foot peg. So it put me in like a weird spot on the seat. And then like when I would go to transition, like from a left to right or right to left, or mainly left to right, I would just get stuck on like kind of wherever I was on the seat. And I couldn't fix it. I couldn't adjust it or anything. I couldn't use a rear brake. And man, I was just trying to get through it at that point. And then the rain came and made it. I was like, man, like how hard is it gonna? How hard? How like can I catch one little break? You know?
Right.
Yeah, we went on with slicks. I ended up just pulling in because I was like, man, like I literally can't afford to crash right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we got a 7th or 8th the second day, and yeah, those next 2 weeks were super beneficial for me. Just going to PT and getting some strength back in my foot. And luckily Laguna it's a left-hand dominant track. So yeah, I was still struggling with it a little bit, mainly like fitness wise. By Sunday it was hurting pretty good, but I was able to ride like I knew how I could at Laguna, and it was awesome.
Well, I'll never forget that you came back at Sonoma that one year when you had your knee issue, and that was a struggle. I think you came back at least a round too early for that one. Do you feel that in hindsight?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you were sick. Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah, I was like worried about losing my ride though then.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I was just young and dumb, messing around on a scooter, and yeah, that's pretty wild to think about back then. But yeah, I had just finally got like my dream ride with Graves Yamaha, and then I hurt myself dicking off on a scooter. And then
Didn't you win the first race of that weekend?
I got a podium.
Okay,
Yeah,
podium. Yeah.
I got a podium, and then I was like, man, I was so sick, like
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't ride. Like my knee had exploded the next day, and I told Chuck, I was like, man, like I can't even ride. But that was pretty crazy. And then, you know, we went on to have a pretty good year after that. I got like 7 race wins. And,
Yes.
Battling with Cardenas
Yep.
and Eslick. It was, I think Eslick, right? Was it Eslick?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It was really cool.
We got to wrap up. We're getting word that it's time.
Okay, I want to ask him one
He's
more
got to go
question.
practice some more.
Something I don't really know about. I want to ask you this real quick. We know what happened to you, but what happened? Did you slam your foot on the track? Is that what caused that injury? Do you know?
So what I've been told is it happened from basically my foot extending too quick, like too fast. And the Achilles, like my Achilles basically pulled my heel apart.
I'm surprised it didn't rupture.
Which
that
is
Achilles.
amazing.
That's a long recovery.
It's crazy that I didn't even know that something like that could happen.
Me either.
Yeah, it shows you how strong your Achilles is, and your feet muscles and all that. But
You
what
needed
I've
those
learned,
other socks. They probably were
I
a
know,
little thicker, maybe.
You're probably right. Yeah, but yeah, what I've learned with all this too is just like how much is connected to your heel, like all your toe muscles, your Achilles, your calf, like everything is connected to your heel. And yeah, so in that crash, I think it was just trying to basically pull it apart. One weird move with my foot.
Man,
but, yeah,
I thought it was impact. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. All right, you know,
he's going to go practice.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to work.
at Mid-Ohio, test
Yes.
day.
Yep.
So test day today, you're going to be practicing again and qualifying tomorrow. So you got quite a few sessions. You got some good seat time. So we're going to look for more out of you.
Yeah, it should be good.
the
Got
re-
2 more sessions today, and then we go into tomorrow and start the weekend and hope it don't rain.
You're close to the lap record from 2008 that's still held by Ben Spies,
Okay.
who's in the paddock now. So yeah, I think he was 123, high 123. You're like
Okay.
124-ish, so you're close. So he's got a carrot there,
So
as
we're
if he needs it.
hoping to get a ton of people like we used to have.
Yeah.
But if not, they can watch Moto America Live
Yeah,
Plus.
we got Live Plus to watch for sure. And check out our timing and our timing.com, timing.motoamerica.com to see all our lap times today as well. So, all right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Good luck.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.